recording. And I would love to introduce Ashima now from India, who's going to speak about GenAI in teacher ed. So let's hand over to you, Ashima.
Thank you so much. Myself, Ashima. I'm a PhD scholar from Jamia Millia Islamia, New Delhi, India. So today I'm going to talk about generative AI in teacher education, enhancing reflective practices or undermining pedagogical autonomy. In today's era, generative AI is a tool which is used by everyone, whether we are talking about the teachers, whether we are talking about the students, or even in higher education institution. So now, but the thing is, what is this tool what is the use of this tool? Do we have only the advantages of using this tool, or there are many disadvantages as well? So in this today's study, we are just going to discuss about that. Yeah. So basically, digital mentor, as I have discussed, a digital mentor or a quiet substitute for professional judgment. So what does generative AI offers us? Like when we are talking about the online teaching, digitally mediated classroom, generative AI gives the classroom scenarios. It gives the virtual classroom scenarios, differentiated critical questions, and it also gives the innovative teaching approaches, alternative teaching approaches, and scaffolds the reflective practices. But on the other hand, I have read a study in which generative AI, gives the very stereotypical answers, stereotypical images. So this is one of the disadvantages of generative AI. Moreover, it gives algorithm derived feedback, which may erode professional judgment and the and as we are talking about the online teaching here, so there are the chances when teaching online, like the oversight of mentor is very limited. So this is one of the advantages of when using generative AI. I just need a moment. I don't know why I'm not able to move on to the second slide. I think that's okay, like if I share the screen like
Of
this.
course, that's fine.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Okay. Now, my study deals my two framework. Number one is Schoen's reflective practices theory, and the another one is TPAC model. So, why I have taken these two lenses? Um, Shown the like Donald Schoen's reflective theory, like it especially distinction between reflection in action, like the moment thinking of a teacher while actually teaching, and the another one reflection on action, more deliberate thinking that happen afterwards, like when the teacher reflecting what I discussed in my class, I should discuss this topic, reflection after the teacher. So the reason why I have used this shown reflective theory in my research, because it gives a critical lens for using the AI. So that distinction matter here because it gives me a lens for what deep reflection actually looks like, as opposed to the surface level acceptance or the feedback that usually generative AI gives us. So as my study is based on the pre-service teacher who receives an AI suggestions and and ask why would this work, and when might it not, for example, if a pre-service teacher gives any prompt to generative AI, and after that, like if she's reflecting on her work, if she or he is reflecting on their work, so they can uh, see like what the surface level acceptance of the feedback. Now a pre-service teacher who receives an AI suggestions and asks, like, why would this work? And something closer to the genuine reflection, the in which the human mind engaged. So one who simply adopt the suggestion because it was offered is not even the lesson plan that results looks on identical on paper. Now, the second framework is that I have taken for the study is the TPAC model. So TPAC model stands for technological, pedagogical, content knowledge, and for content knowledge. Yeah. So TPAC is used here because it let me locate more precisely for the generative AI enters a teacher's knowledge base, like how generative AI enters in the teacher's knowledge. So does it support the technological layer, or helping the teacher using this tool more frequently, more fluently? And moreover, does it influence the pedagogical knowledge, helping them the reasons about the students to learn? Or does it start to substitute pedagogical and content knowledge, like actually making the instructional decisions rather than informing them? So basically, together these two framework let me give the more precise version of the opening question, that not just is generative AI good or bad, but it also scaffolds or the reflection under the shown model. And whereas in the TPAC structure, it risks substitute for the teacher's own judgment. Now, the main aim of my study is um, to determine whether interaction with generative AI improve preparedness, reflective ability, or diminishes originality and increases the algorithm reliance in online and digital mediated teacher education. So I break down the aim into three linked strands, and the first is the reflective practices, which specific generative AI interaction promotes deeper reflection and which encourages passive acceptance. This is where the design of the AI tool itself, not just a presence or absence, starts to matter. And the second one is the pedagogical autonomy. Under which condition does the interactive with AI pre-service and a pre-service teacher's independent engagement? Under what condition does it quietly start to replace that judgment? And my the third aim of third objective is the pedagogical decision making. How does AI generated feedback actually influence real instructional design? Risk assessment in the classroom management. The one is adapting teaching for the diverse learner. Now, now I have adopted a descriptive survey design, and where I make the structured questionnaire, Likert scale item on the AI use, instructional value, ethics, creativity, and critical thinking and autonomy. I have taken pre-service teachers enrolled in digitally mediated teacher education program, and for analysis of data, I have used descriptive statistics, and the sample size is approximately 150 students, which I haven't written here. So the first one is preparedness of reflective ability or the diminish originality. Hmm. So in this, 78% of the participants felt more prepared after using the generative AI tool, which encouraging the part of this picture and consisting with the existing literature. But over 65% also notice that there's a drop in their original thought process, because like what do generative AI do? They just give the prompt and the AI, like for example ChatGPT, Gemini, um, Copilot. So they just like these generative AI tools just give the all the answers. Here the students, here the teachers are not engaging them cognitively. So and they're like they are not using their brain, which hampers their intellectual abilities. So yeah, so the same feed. So because of that, their fast, competent, always suggestion ability. Yeah. So specifically, like the student who says that 78% they feel more preparedness after using the generative AI, they feel like they are using generative AI because of the like they reported because of the tight deadlines, and like they have to submit the project on the other day. So that's the reason that they are using it. But on the other hand, that's the disadvantages, that the AI provides a scaffolding, but there is a risk of cognitive dependency. Now, the another one is a reflective practice, deep reflection versus a passive acceptance. So, um, 82% of the students, 82% of the participants reported that if the AI is Socratic AI. Socratic AI means like if the questioning back, like, why you want to do this, if not doing that way, if we do like, on the another way, then it can be like then it can enhance our reflective practices. But on the other hand, the 78% of the students, they say it's like copy based learning, like whatever the answer the AI is giving, the generative AI is giving, they are just copy pasting, and like due to that there is no reflective practices. So the major takeaway for this objective is AI interaction design determine the level of critical reflection, which means that how you are using your AI. Are you using it for the brainstorming it, or are you just taking the data and just using it for your project, or like for your for the purpose? And the another one is preparedness and reflective ability, or it diminish the originality. Mhm. So So I split the participants in AI interaction into two broader type. I think that's when I have discussed on pedagogical autonomy is here. So the third strand of finding is about the pedagogical autonomy. So specifically, like does relying on AI change how much independent professional judgment a pre-service teacher exercise? So this chart, the chart that I have like pasted here, plots autonomy score against the level of AI reliance, like the participant, how much they are relying on AI, and it shows a threshold pattern rather than a straight line. At low reliance, autonomy scores stay high, around 82, and stay reasonable throughout, and low moderate and moderate reliance at like 79 and 74. But once reliance crosses into the high band, autonomy drops sharply to 55, and at very high reliance it falls further to 34. So digging into what drives that drop autonomy tend to preserve when the AI tools offer multiple teaching options rather than a single recommendation. Then plurality keep the pre-service teacher in the position of having to choose, and choosing required judgment. But 68% of the participants said that defer to AI specifically when it offers a single best answer, and it affects noticeably stronger in online settings without the like active mentor support. So basically, the disadvantages and the risk of AI and the pedagogical autonomy is that AI replacing independent pedagogical decision making. So the students are very much like they are not thinking cognitively, that we have discussed in the first objective. They are very much dependent on AI, even for nowadays, even for like very silly answers, very silly question, they are using their chat gpt for having the for the answer. They are not using their cognitively. Even they are not they don't have any trust on their intuitions as well. They are very much rely on generative AI tools. Now the another objective, the question that I deal with is pedagogical decision making. So AI support the scanning phase 72%. So 72% of the participants reported that AI identify the risk that the participants missed. And moreover, they suggested different teaching activities as well that they can do in their classrooms. But on the other hand, there are 60% of the participants found that AI gives many generic feedback, like many nothing innovative is there, and it lacks the cultural and contextual sensitivity. Another one is reduces confidence in spontaneous classroom decisions. So AI sports planning, like AI just brainstorms you with the different ideas, but it hinders your improvisation. Uh, So the connecting findings to theory use. So the shown reflection, finding proof reflection is triggered AI generated uncertainty and killed by AI generated uncertainty and killed by AI generated certainty, which are the direct solutions. And for the TPAC integration, find like all the finding proves that AI is useful assistant for the planning in which the content and technology comes, but it's dangerous replacement for contextual decision making, like pedagogy plus context. And preserving the human at the center of TPAC Venn diagram is a non-negotiable. Um, According to me, AI should act as a catalyst, but it should not replace the human. Like we should not totally depend on the AI. Like we should, as a teacher educators, we should act like teach even teach AI, generative AI, as a catalyst. So, for the last, designing AI into teacher education without losing the teacher. So, the first is design generative tools for teacher education and prompting reflection rather than supplying finished answers. So, as we like for generative AI tool, we should not just have all the answers like with the single prompt. We should give the prompt the AI to give the to like the questions that like as we have discussed in the shown reflective theory like the questions should be like this, which increases the deep reflection. Like the AI like it can ask like what if we are not going to do that way, if we can use this. So if you're having the questions like this which cross question, so it increases the deep reflection. And yeah, another one is build AI literacy explicitly into online teacher education curricula, not an optional add-on. So the AI literacy is should be it should be on the teacher education curriculum. We should not treat it as an additional subject. And the third one is preserved structured mentor touch points in online program, specifically at the moment where AI feedback is introduced to guard against unchecked conversions on AI suggestions. Like we should cross check it, whatever the AI is given, we should not rely on that. We should do the research over it. And as monitor AI reliance threshold rather than simple usage frequency, as a risk to autonomy is non-linear, as we have discussed in the my project objective 3, that the AI reliance threshold is not a non-linear, so we should see accordingly. And now here's the conclusion. Then generative AI's effect on reflective practices and the pedagogical autonomy depend on how it is used. Basically, the design of the interaction, the mentor scaffolding, and the pre-service teachers online critical AI literacy. So basically, AI is not like it's not that we should like it the way we are using the AI, it's all depend on that, like the way we are giving the prompt. I'm not saying that the using the AI is hampers the student's critical growth, they are hampering the deep reflection of the student. But if you are using AI, if you know how to give what type of prompt and on what purposes you have to use, then it increases like it's really helpful for the teacher educator. And the goal is evidence based integration that preserves human judgment, creativity, and the professional agency. We should not divert from what we are seeking in. We should not divert from our main goal. Like our goal is to how to increase it, how to enhance it. So I think that's it from my side.
Thank you so much. Does anybody have any questions or comments? Sylvester, I've noticed that you and Ashima are both using the TPAC um, framework, so that's fantastic. I wonder whether you've got some insight as to
Yes,
potentially
it's
how that
very
can be
nice to
used.
see that we have similar thoughts here of using TPAC.
Feedback, yeah. First of all, I just want to apologize. I ran so fast, and moreover, I just got confused in between. So apologies for that. And
Please don't worry. Have you done many conference presentations before?
this is my first international presentation.
Wonderful. Congratulations. It was Sylvester's Fest as well. So it's such honestly, it's such a privilege to be able to witness your first conference presentations. It's so
Thank you
exciting.
so much. Thank
No,
you
of
so much.
course.
Means a
And
lot.
of course you're going to be nervous. That's just what happens. But no,
Yeah.
that did anyone else have any other comments or
Yeah.
questions for Ashma at all?
Uh, I think some asking from TPAC, no? Like TPAC.
Oh no,
Did
it was just me making it an
Okay, okay, got it. I
yeah,
thought
I
that was
noticed.
a question. Okay,
No,
got it.
sorry. No, it was just noticing that you are both using that framework, which is
Yeah.
really interesting.
Hmm.
Fantastic. No, if people don't have questions, we can all just take a little breath. And then we've got one more presentation this afternoon, now that it's this afternoon for us, that will start in about 8 or 9 minutes if we have everyone here. So I'm going to stop the recording now.